right, welcome back to another hour of Scotch Hour. My name is Noah.
And I'm Jesse.
All right, Jesse, so this is going to be our Mother Day special. Along with our normal, like our normal show. So how was your last week?
My week was a really good week. Spent some time with my kiddos, played some basketball with my son. When I say played some basketball, I mean he kicked my butt. So it was a great week. Work saw some forward movement, some success. Very happy about that.
Good.
And helped my father with a project at his home. Felt great about that. Saw, my parents, my mom. It's almost Mother's Day, so always fun to see her. She keeps making me her Irish soda bread. If I eat any more of that, I'm going to gain 5 pounds. Mom, it's okay. I love it, but stop.
That's good. Hey, Mother's Day is around the corner. So when our show drops, it's Thursday, but Mother's Day will be that following Sunday. So it's good that we're going to be recognizing our moms on here. My week, just to kind of let you know.
Yeah, tell me about your week.
Yeah, so my week, last Friday, I got a text at like 7:30 in the morning from one of my students that I teach an in-person life insurance class for. So that way they can pass the state exam.
Yeah.
And they said that they passed, so that was really exciting. Mm-hmm. And then that was a great way to start a Friday. And then on Monday, one of the for my other job that I work at, the other place where I teach people how to prep for the life insurance and health insurance. And someone passed with an 87 there.
That's amazing. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to you. I know what a big deal that is to you.
Yeah, it is. It's a real big deal. And I wasn't picking my nose. It was just my... Sorry, Mom.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother.
Golden nuggets.
Basically, yeah, it's a pretty big deal. It lets me know that whatever I'm teaching is actually working. And so it's good to know that people are passing their state exams, because they are not the easiest exams to take.
Yeah.
So, I guess, what do we want to say about Mother's Day? Do we want to talk about Mother's Day, or we kind of want to just jump into the Scotch? Because I know we kind of picked out the Scotch for Mother's Day.
Yeah, we actually did go down together, select this Scotch just for Mother's Day. So, moms, we're going to enjoy this for you. And
we wish you were here, but we just couldn't logistically put it together for both of our moms to be here at the same time.
Yeah.
So, but this is an honor for you, for both of you.
It truly is. So, this is the Glenlivet Caribbean Reserve. This is a single malt Scotch aged and finished in rum barrels. So
rum barrels.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got to be sweet sugar, right?
Sweet, fruity, and smooth. We're going for smooth.
And smooth. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
This should be something that moms would like, I would think, right?
For those Scotch drinking moms, absolutely. Although maybe not. Maybe they're like, give me the Lagavulin.
I guess we'll find out here soon enough, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So I'm going to pop open this bottle.
Okay, let's pop it.
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
While we're doing this, you asked a really good question. I mean, I'm glad you had a great week, Noah. You asked a really good question, and that was, what does Mother's Day mean to me?
Yeah.
Man, that is a complicated question in the sense of it means so much. It is something where, great mom, my mom is phenomenal. I love her. She's amazing. And right off the nose, I get some fruit. Yeah, that's pretty actually great. My mother.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is Mom's. Mom, I'm sorry you're not here to try this.
All right, Noah, Darth Vader Ice Cube.
Dom, 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 dom.
And the Glenlivet.
Ooh, look at that. It has a nice color to it.
That is a nice color. That's a great summer color and smell. Man.
Man, I can definitely smell the bananas.
Really?
Yeah. I want my 2 bananas. Mom, you know what that means, right? 2 bananas. I want 2 bananas.
I thought it was $2.
Well, that's in that movie. I Better Off Dead. But there's a banana story too. So
All right. I think I've heard this story.
all right.
Well, so immediately on the nose, I'm with you. I do smell banana.
It's like banana, like right away, right?
That's great. This is a new experience.
Remember how we were just standing there at Total Wine and we're just like,
Yes.
what should we drink tonight? We got to pick out 2 different types. And one was like, which one would be good for Mother's Day?
That's right. So, moms, again, thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, Noah. Wow. I'm not going to say this is going to be my Scotch of choice. However, what I will say is 98 degrees on the patio with the fire pit and some barbecuing. This is about as refreshing a Scotch on a hot day as you're going to get. Oh, man.
I will say this. Like a lot of times on the Scotches that we've been trying up until now, they have like a finish.
Yes.
This has like no finish.
It is super smooth.
It's like like all the flavor is like bam right up front, and then like the tail end's like, what happened?
Yeah, I agree. But it's not a bam, I'm hot. It's a bam.
It's
Here's
just
some fruit.
Yeah, it's like bam, bunch of fruit. Like you smell bananas, but like kind of like on the lingering aftertaste of it. That's where I get like a really, really mild mango.
Yeah. I love grilled mango.
I like grilled mango. Telegram for mango. Telegram for mango.
So-
It's actually mango, but
That's right. Very fruity scent, fruity nose on this Scotch. Great golden color.
you also get like a little bit on that back
Tail end.
tail end on the finish. You do get that light rum oak flavor.
And this might be like a nice addition to a top shelf mojito.
Ooh, maybe. You know what actually might be good with this? Have you ever had grilled peaches?
I have not. I have not. I've heard they're wonderful, but I have not.
Yeah, so I went to Georgia one time, and I was out there for a conference. And after the conference was over, I met up with some friends that live out in Georgia, and they grilled up some peaches. That is some good stuff. Almost kind of like if you ever go to like Rodizio and get some like grilled pineapple.
Love
I
grilled
bet you have like grilled pineapple or grilled peaches with this. That'd be like way good, like super yummy.
Absolutely.
So if you're not like a Scotch drinker, this might change your mind.
Yeah, this might be your Scotch of choice.
This Caribbean Reserve. I give this 2 thumbs up.
I do too. Speyside Scotch.
Oh yeah, Speyside.
We
Yep.
did decide to go with the Speyside because we had done 3 from Isla and some from the Highlands, 1 from the Lowlands, and now we decided, let's start balancing this out. This is not noted as a 10-year, a 12-year, an 8-year, or a 14-year.
Yeah, it doesn't even say how long it's aged.
It doesn't, but that's all right because
But it does say it's sweet and tropical.
it is sweet and tropical. Absolutely.
You know, throw on some Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett, there you go. Some Maui Jims,
Yeah.
some Jimmy Buffett.
Get some cheeseburger in paradise going.
Man, get your Hawaiian shirt, cigar in one hand, this Scotch in the other. With that, let's go back to what you were saying about what does Mother's Day mean to me. It means a ton to me. You and I have shared a lot of life together and had a lot of time away from each other, but one thing we do know about each other and share is, I think, also an appreciation for each other's mother. I spent a lot more time at your house than you did at mine, but you know my mom very well. I know your mom extremely well, and both great people, welcoming, heartwarming. And I guess, I oversimplify it when I say great people. I should really say these are people that are good to the core, the kind of people you don't meet very often, the kind of people that make you proud to be a son, make you want to make them proud that they're your mother.
Yeah, I would say that you don't want to make them disappointed, right? if I remember correctly. It's been a long time since I've seen your mom, but I want to say her name. She never told me, like, anytime I try to call your mom or your dad Mr. and Mrs. Wills, they're always like, no, that's not us, right? So
Reba and Mel. Reba and Mel.
Yeah. Yeah, your mom is a wonderful mom. Every time I went over there, she was super, super nice to me. Had many dinners over your house in high school. She always treated me really well. So I'm like I think your mom's awesome. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. It's
I think one thing to say, and I'm thinking about those chocolate turtles. I ate way too many over your house once. Is that moms, many a mom, not necessarily all great moms, good moms, but many a mom is known for her home cooking, her ability to make a meal, to bring a family together with food. And it's something that I now cherish myself. I really enjoy cooking. I love preparing. I love taking the time to bring people together to enjoy a meal. And it's something you and I share, Noah. One of these days, you guys, we're going to make our killer calzones here. We will eat them on camera. They're that good. And then we'll share the recipe at some point.
Yeah, that's well, you remember, like, that's it's made with homemade dough. Those were killer calzones, and it was great because, like, our moms would be like, yeah, go ahead, make whatever you want in the kitchen, just
use our stuff, make a mess. We were pretty good though. We were good kids. We cleaned up after ourselves.
I think we did for the most part.
Flowers everywhere. Can't get that on my silk shirt. See you later.
So, and then our moms are great for allowing us to use their vehicles until we got our own and stuff like that. So there's many great things to say about, even like you said about your mom and my mom. Most of the time growing up, my mom was a single mom, so she got to play the role of mom and dad. So it means a lot that I have a good relationship with my mom. There was a point in time, like, I'm not gonna say everything was like sunshine and rainbows.
Copacetic.
Because there was a period. I think occasionally you see this, like, with some families or even in the movies, where you have, and there's my ums. I told you I had to try to clean up. But there's another one.
Do you want me to start counting for you?
Yeah, start counting because this is going to be a goal of mine to get rid of the ums. But so there was a time where her and I, we didn't speak to each other for probably like a good 5 years, maybe. And it was just, it was, I think it was probably tough on both of us. There was a falling out, but I really would say that it's great that we've gotten, we rebuilt our relationship together. And since COVID started, my mom brought me out from Salt Lake back to Colorado, and it gave me time to live under her house again for a portion of time and get to know her really well and really rebuild that bond or that kinship between a mother and a son. And it's been a really wonderful experience, and I can't say how much I really love my mom or how much I greatly appreciate having that time, because I think as we get older, we start to realize we don't have that much more time with our parents. So anytime we are able to spend with them, it's very important. And on top of that, another woman I have to recognize for Mother's Day is going to be Brian's mom, Kathy. I've known her since second grade. She's really been like a second mom to me. Like when my mom moved out of Colorado, I spent Christmas and Thanksgivings and birthdays over at Brian's mom's house. So she's been kind of like a second mom to me as well. So I have to wish her a wonderful Mother's Day as well. So there's your mom, my mom, and Brian's mom.
All right, ladies, happy Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's Day to all of you. And without you, I'm not sure we would be the people we are today.
We would not.
Well, definitely we wouldn't be here.
Cannot say enough good things. I know you're the same way with Kathy and your mom. And mom, when I call Noah's mom, it is of no disrespect. It is only that I cherish both of you as mothers of of this world of people who brought great children, great individuals, and now adults most of the time, yeah, into this world to make a positive impact. So I want you to know that much like Noah, I love you. You mean the world to me. Happy Mother's Day. I am so grateful for everything you did, for the sacrifices you made when you were working 1, 2, or 3 jobs, when you were getting no sleep, when you were worrying about myself or my sisters. I always tried to call before I was supposed to be home. I think I made it 99% of the time. I will tell you a story really quick, mostly quick, about the one time I felt terrible about how I treated my mother, and that was teenager and junior year in high school. My mom comes down. She's trying to do me a proper. She's like, "Hey, Jesse, it's time to wake up. It's time to go to the school bus." And I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't know. But I'm like, shut the up. And she went upstairs, and I got up a minute later, and I just immediately felt terrible. I remember going to the bus, getting that ride to school, immediately walking myself down to Dean Rory's office.
Oh, not Dean Rory.
Oh, Dean Rory's office. And
oh, man, that lady hated me.
Maybe she loved me. But she was great. Marched is the better way to put it, right down into Dean Rory's office, and I'll never forget, because I asked her administrative assistant, "May I please use the phone? I said something really mean to my mom this morning, and I just want to call and apologize to her." And she looked at me and she's like, "Okay, here you go. This is kids, millennials. This is before cell phones. So you got to understand that we were lucky if we had a pager." And I called my mom up and I was like, "Mom, I am so sorry for what I said this morning. You know, I will always appreciate, value, and cherish and take to heart her reaction, because I believe it's an important one." She laughed and she's like, "It's okay, Jesse. I know you didn't mean it." And I didn't. And she forgave me, which was very important to me. And Mom, man, still to this day, I am so sorry for that. I know I was tired. It's never the way to treat your mom or anyone for that matter. So thank you for forgiving me. I love you.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of snafus in my past. So I do apologize, Mom. I'm not going to go and spill all of them, but I think the worst story I had was the one I mentioned there where we had our falling out. But there's a happy story now to the ending of it. What is your favorite dish that your mom makes?
There are so many. She makes a...
Okay, give me your top 2.
Okay, I'm going to go with chicken paprikash is one of them.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you a top 3 because I can't with just the 2. She makes amazing stroganoff. She makes so many wonderful things. But chicken paprikash, tuna ring, and pasties. Those are my favorite 3.
Okay, what's a pasty?
So it is really just dough with ground beef, potato, and a few other ingredients like parsnips made into almost like a doughy burrito, a half shell, a mini calzone that is then baked.
Almost sounds like a pierogi or something.
It's like a giant pierogi that is then baked, and the crust is phenomenal. It's so perfect. After it's warmed up, a little bit of ketchup is my favorite topping or additive addition. A little ketchup, amazing, absolutely amazing. You could, as my dad describes the story back in the day, early 19th century, they would bake these and they could literally take them in a paper bag, in a plastic bag, although I don't know if they had plastic bags back then, but a paper bag, and eat them whole as lunch. And it had your veggies and your meat and your starches.
Nice. Okay. So how about this one? What was the second one you said? Was it like tuna ring?
Tuna ring, yes.
What's that?
It is a ring. The dough is much like a croissant dough.
Okay.
Rolled out, and then within there are, again, a myriad of toppings, but predominantly tuna. And so some different veggies. You're going to taste the tuna. It's sharp. Rolled up, baked, a little butter, and egg on the top to give it a nice brown. My favorite topping with this one is blue cheese. She also makes a wonderful cheddar, and you pour that over the top, eat it again. Amazing. Phenomenal.
Huh?
Just,
Phenomenal.
yeah.
Okay.
I can still taste the blue cheese. It's one of those meals you taste and you never forget. Thank you, Mom.
All right.
How about yourself? What are your favorites?
So my number one favorite dish that my mom makes, and I don't even know the name of it, but it's salmon.
Okay.
And she boils it. And the way she like does the salmon, she cuts it like super thin, and she wraps them so it looks like a rose.
Nice.
And then you'll get some rice, and you get it rice, and you pack it into a cup so it sits like nice and solid.
Yeah.
And you put the salmon on top of it. And then she has these two different sauces made with like a red pepper and then like an orange pepper.
Ooh.
Bell peppers. And it is so freaking good. She knows I love that. I always ask her for the recipe, and it has eluded me to this day.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? But it's like, if you want to make an impression, like she gave it to me once a long time ago. That was before like I really kept things on computers or anything like that. And since I have a tendency to move, I'm kind of like a gypsy, I guess, because I tend to move like I live like in a place for like a year. So like every year I seem to move or whatever, which is partially why I'm a minimalist. Like I was telling you about, you move so many times, you're just like, I don't want anything. But in any case, I must have lost the recipe. But if you want to make a good impression on women, that is like a super bomb like recipe to make. And my mom does it super well. It's incredibly good. And yeah, phenomenal.
All right, so you're saying leave the Ferrari at home. Don't worry about the jewelry or the agent provocateur. Make this dish. Mom, I need the recipe.
Recently, let's see, what's another good dish I like? There is a lot that I like that my mom makes. I do like her homemade lasagna. She makes a pretty good lasagna. I love that. Although anymore, I think I might have topped her though, because because I've learned how to smoke lasagna.
There you go, dirt off the shoulder.
Yeah. So no, but yeah, my mom makes a great lasagna. And there's one memory that I remember growing up is that we used to bake together. So bake cookies, bake cakes, stuff like that. So it's not necessarily a recipe, but if I was going to do 3 of them, I would throw baking in there just as in general, because we used to bake together when I was younger. And so I will also include Kathy in here, since she is like my like a second mom to me, since I've known her since 2nd grade. Kathy, I'm sorry to say this, but growing up, your cooking was probably not that great, but that's mainly probably because we we had like TV dinners all the time.
That's all
so
right.
Anytime I stayed over there at Brian's house, we had like frozen dinners or whatever, or like I don't know, not the best. But I will say this: as Kathy's got as like we've gotten older, and now that Kathy's like she's actually like a really good cook now.
Nice.
Like before, like when I was like a kid, her cooking was like so, but now she's a pretty good cook. She makes like really awesome pierogies, and her Thanksgiving meals are pretty good. She does a pretty good spread for Thanksgiving. So thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Mom. I love you guys both. Yeah, it's just so. I guess that's I had to give her some props on like how she's progressed over time.
All right.
Sorry, Kathy.
All right. We could talk about moms forever, and we will, but not tonight.
Yeah. So this is still part of a Scotch Hour. So we do have last week's smarter challenges.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. So did you watch the video? I know you did, because you told me you did.
I did. You know, I don't know if it was a video. I listened to it. Let me put it that way. I did
Okay.
not watch it. So if there was a
Well,
video version,
there's technically no video,
okay. I'm like thinking for a minute, I really missed out because that
but I
might
mean,
have been great.
it's on YouTube, but there's no real video. It's actually a recording, is like a record that he's actually, I'm not sure if you know this, but Earl Nightingale, when he did that speech,
Yeah.
he did it for a group of salespeople, and he was not even able to make it to that meeting. So he had recorded it on a record, and then he played it there and became super well known and famous. Earl Nightingale is actually known as like the godfather of the self improvement genre.
All right. Well, I did listen to it. Earl Nightingale. Very easy to listen to, actually. He's a great speaker. Most people who make it in that world are. A couple quick quotes I will say that I wrote down because they stuck with me. Number one, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And I do believe that's true. And it goes further to say, if he's working towards a predetermined goal and knows where he's going. That's the important part. So that's the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. One thing he said, which the lot's changed since this was 1950.
Right around there.
1950. A lot has probably changed at that point in time. And as you mentioned, he was going to speak with a bunch of salespeople. One of the things he said is selling is the world's highest paid profession. Now, I think a lot has changed in the last 70 years, 71 years, but I want to come back to that in just a second. He mentioned we become what we think about.
Most.
Ultimately, what we focus on. Yes, absolutely. We are what we eat is another way of saying that. I don't remember eating a legend, just saying. My favorite quote, though, that he mentioned was one with Shakespeare. Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. And that one, Shakespeare always, this is a good quote from the play Measure for Measure. And that one, partially because it's Shakespeare, honestly, also because I could relate to it at a different level, was very meaningful to me. And I think it's great. Going back to the one piece with selling is the world's highest profession, I think that this is something that's it's easy to hear and dismiss. However, no matter what you're doing, whether you are training someone for insurance or for any line of work, a piece of that there, if you're doing a job interview, if you are in fact trying to sell someone a car, a computer, an idea, there's a lot that goes into that. That is something, if you believe in that, that is the highest profession. It's something that you get out of it. Now, that selling, that worthy idea isn't always going to bring you profit by money, but it can also be by fulfillment. And I think that was a big piece of what he spoke to Earl Nightingale's purpose.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it when he talks about in there how a stay-at-home mother could be also seen as being successful if that's what her goal was, right? And if she worked on being a good stay-at-home mother, then she is successful because she's in pursuit of her worthy ideal. So yes, you are correct as far as like it doesn't necessarily have to be monetarily realized. It could be morally realized or any other factor.
Absolutely.
And I think when quoting your Shakespeare quote there, I think he makes a really good point too, because if you doubt yourself, right, failure starts with a seedling of doubt. And he kind of mentions this with nightshade versus corn, right? Your brain is a open field. It's like an open farm field. And if you plant corn, corn will grow in abundance. If you plant nightshade, nightshade will grow in abundance. So it's whatever you plant and what you feed your mind is what's going to end up happening.
I see that, and I ask, very simple model in many ways. What is it, in your opinion, that holds others back? One of the pieces he speaks to is there's 100 people. And after they get to the age of 65, one will be wealthy. Back in 1950, five more would be able to self-sustain. So you're talking about one rich person, 5 people that are going to be able to live without assistance from Social Security or another means. And the other 94% absolutely needs assistance, Social Security, other forms of given income in sense, although you could argue that they paid into Social Security much like a 401k, they rely on that other form of income. What do you believe is the biggest reason for that?
Education. If we look at it today, your 4 number, it would be correct for today. It might even be 3 now, but it's 1 wealthy. As of at least 2015, it was 1 wealthy. 4 would end up okay. So 1 wealthy means that they have 5 million or more saved. Okay means somewhere between 1 million to 4.9 million saved. And then the other 95% would need some kind of assistance. When we look at that, the number shrunk by 1 person. Now, if we knew this back in 1955, people have not really been, I don't think schools really teach you how to be an entrepreneur. I don't think they teach you how money works. I don't think they teach you how to set goals and achieve goals. So I really believe it has to do to education. And if you're not getting it in the public schools, if you think about it this way, right, the government runs public schools. Now, do they want a bunch of independent people, or do they want a bunch of people that they can control and have become mindless workers? If they want people who are going to be controlled mindless workers, they're going to want the 94 or 95% of the people. And I think the reason why you have the 4 or 5 people who make it out to where they're okay or become wealthy is because either 1, they were taught that by their parents or someone else that they know, or they found a mentor to teach them. The knowledge is there. It's not like it's hidden. But that's also why he says it's the strangest secret, because it's wide open. Anyone can find this information, but it's like it's a secret because like no one really does it or applies it, or most people don't.
I think that you're most likely largely right. I think there's another piece which is interesting, and I know that he touches on this when he gives the goal: know what you want. Write that down every day, 30 days, read that, review it, look at it, do it again and again and again, which is another way of speaking to discipline. And I'm curious, what is it your opinion that discipline also plays a huge role, or is it more of just the education?
Well, I think education goes with the discipline. I think it's how it's being taught. Like they teach children to be disciplined and obeying authority, but they are not disciplined in how to achieve goals.
I think that's an interesting perspective. I'm going to continue thinking about this. I do believe there is a lot there.
There's a lot to unpack in that video or that audio.
Absolutely. I'm still more of the mindset, however, that you can educate the world, and without the discipline, which I don't believe for me is not the same as education, without the discipline, it's not the same. We have a lot of individuals who have gone to school, put themselves in significant financial debt, who are all waiting every day saying, Biden, relieve student debt. And I don't think that's right either. many of them largely successful, some of them hugely successful. Many of them racked up this debt and can't even pay it off, are gaining no progress in life. If they're doing what they love, well, man, they are successful. If they're just working a job now that they went to school to pay a bill, I don't know that that was the right thing to do. I don't know that education was the win.
If I were to redo everything or give advice to a young person nowadays, I would say that college is not necessarily the best path. In fact, I would say that unless you are wanting to be like a doctor or a scientist or something to where you need the higher education, you don't necessarily need to go to college. What you need to do is you need to find a mentor and have them teach you what it is you want. I think we'd be far better off if we had more entrepreneurs. And so you don't need to have an education necessarily to become an entrepreneur. What you need is someone to teach you how to run a business and build a business. And you take the amount of money that a person uses to go to college, the amount of debt that they went into, if they were to take that same amount of money and apply it towards a mentorship with someone, not only would they probably be making money as they're learning, but they would learn how to build a successful business and actually be probably better off financially.
Mentorship, training, development, things you and I both agree are very important in life. What is your perspective on mentorship? Is it something that is one way? Is it something that works both ways? Where does it end? What happens when one piece of mentorship ends?
I think there's a lot of parts that go along with it. It definitely can go both ways in the beginning, but you can always learn from a mentor can always learn from their student, but typically when you're trying to get a mentor, they've already achieved what you want to achieve, and you will glean that information from the mentor. And usually the mentor or the teacher will not appear until the student's ready. You have to be mentally right in order for the teacher or mentor to appear. Sometimes you have to bug them until they say okay, right? Because you have to look at it this way too, right? They say that you're the average of the 10 people you hang around most, right? That's like whether it be mentally or financially or whatever. So let's say you make $30,000 a year, right? But you want to make $100,000 a year. $100,000 a year people typically don't hang around people who make $20,000 a year. So they typically hang around people who make whatever they earn or more. So once you start hanging around those type of people, right, you start picking up their kind of habits, their kind of mannerisms and stuff like that. Really the difference between a wealthy person versus someone who makes like $20,000 a year is the way they think. Usually people are making low end money. They tend to make a lot of bad decisions, right? They have a string of bad decisions, maybe some good ones, but then a bunch of bad ones. People who are successful in life tend to have a string of good decisions, and they're consistent. And so this kind of goes back to your discipline, right? And then like middle class people, they tend to have a string of good and a string of bad. So they'll start off good and they think they achieved, and then they'll slack off and they'll have bad ones. So it's all about, there's a book called like the 199 Habits of the World Class, and he talks about this. So if you want a book, there's a book for you.
I'm good, man. I'm getting ready to read American Gods, so my plate is full for the week. However, I think you bring up an interesting point as far as different socioeconomic classes, lower end, middle range, higher end. And is it so much that they make a ton of bad or rash decisions, or is it more of the way they adapt and react to a poor or rash decision? And I think it is both. I think you are right with, hey, these people make bad decisions. over and over and over again. I think there is a truth to that. I think the biggest piece between the higher echelon and the middle is the piece where you could say the rich fail fast and then they move on. I think there's another piece, and I think that this is easily overlooked, and that is that many of the middle class get trapped, ironically, not as the wealthy should be the ones trapped by golden handcuffs and the income they're making, but the middle class do because of different fears, insecurities, things they need, bills they need to pay. If you've already got $1 million in the bank and you have a $200,000 mortgage on your home, you're not worried about losing your job tomorrow. You'll pay off your home. You'll live for several years well off while you're finding your next $1 million job. However, when you're in that middle class, you're making $100,000 a year. You've got 3 kids and you've got nothing saved up because you paid for their childbirths. There's a whole different, those are not golden handcuffs for a job. Paying a fraction of the other is different. But the other piece is, and I think this is something, everything that you have had me read or listen to so far that speaks to, is this upper class typically isn't doing the same type of work, not about the money, but they do what they love. They do what they enjoy. They do what they want to do. And that is the bigger piece of what makes them successful.
Well, they're doing what they love. They do what they enjoy, but they are thinking different. They're taking risks, right? I mean, you have to, like, you're talking about these golden handcuffs, and I agree that it's there, right? But it's a facade. It really is. And that works for anyone down the whole spectrum. They think they have their bills that they have to meet. They have their worries. They have their fears. And there's plenty of people in the United States and throughout the world that are actually like making millions of dollars, right? And the difference between them versus everybody else is I won't say they overcome their fears, but they put their fears off to the side and they took the leap of faith. And it's scary though. I mean, like you get comfortable. I mean, like I'm not in your position, or I'm not in a position of the person you described, right? Let's say you described the person who makes $100,000 plus a year, has probably a mortgage, has kids, they're paying child support, right? That person they have responsibilities. And there is a big fear that if they were to take that risk, right, take that step out of the box, like they know where they are right now, they know they can cover their bills. They're, I guess they're, for the lack of a better word, they're comfortable, right? If they want to achieve more, they have to have that risk to be able to like grow the corn in that mind that he talks about, right? They have to think, they think different, like these world-class people from that book, they think differently. So you have to take that risk and believe that when you take that risk that you're putting everything out on the line. Yes, there is a possibility you could fail, but if you believe in yourself, there's no way you can fail. I'm sure a lot of people, they listen to this, they'll be like, that's bullcrap. and I would probably agree with them in some sense, because there's been plenty of times. That's why I keep like I've had, like I said, I've had multiple businesses that have failed. But the thing is that I was never super consistent, maybe in my discipline. But every time you start, take that leap of faith, you start, you fail, you learn from it, and you build, and each time gets better and better and better. So that's kind of like what I would go at with this. I know, like we talked about basically Mother's Day and this, and we're almost up to close to an hour here, so it's kind of interesting. But I think it's a great conversation so far.
I think it is too, and I do want to emphasize, I believe that there is a strength with those individuals, to your point, where they are not afraid. They are risk takers. But it's really going back to my initial statement. It's really easy to take a risk when you got $1 million in the bank. Not so easy to take a risk when you got nothing in the bank.
Yeah, but there's some of them who didn't start off with $1 million in the bank. I think Warren Buffett didn't start off with $1 million in the bank.
That one, you're probably right. Hard to believe the guy has done well for himself. I actually respect him a lot.
Bill Gates, he didn't start off with $1 million.
Yeah, but my understanding is, Bill, you're giving half to your wife, ex-wife.
So there's plenty of stories out there where people they took that risk, right? They took that leap of faith. Look at somebody like J.K. Rowling, who wrote the Harry Potter books. She wasn't until I think she was like
40s.
40, her 40s when she first made her millions. And she started off with writing like a basic outline on a napkin about Harry Potter.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I am saying there's a chance.
Thank God.
But you have to love what you do, and you have to do something that you want to do. I think too many people they fall into positions or jobs that they get comfortable with or become complacent with because it covers their mortgage, their bills, and their day-to-day needs, that they lose their ability to dream and pursue their dreams.
Yes, I agree. Very important. Have a goal, have a vision. Your vision doesn't have to be anything anyone else agrees with. It's much like last week we talked about Noah. If you're selling yourself, what are the 5 things you're selling? You're a visionary, you're positive, you're steady, you're a mentor. And I'm still going for this one. But I mean, I guess if you're wearing a Mandalorian costume, it makes sense. You're the underdog. So you got your 5. And I talked, a little bit about my piece: intelligent, attractive, a mentor, trustworthy. Some of these things, particularly the attractive one, to your own comments, this is one where it's like, what do you care? Well, this is something that I'm trying to sell. This is something.
Well, here's the thing is, like, if you have a good enough vision or you're positive, you'll be attractive anyways. So it's, I think attractiveness, it depends on what kind of attractiveness you're trying to talk about there. If you're just trying to talk about looks, that's one thing. But you attract certain people. It's about some kind of magnetism.
Yes, I do.
When you have a goal, right, and you have a worthy goal, and that's all you focus on, and you have that laser beam focus on going after that goal, some way, somehow, the universe will conspire to bring people into your life that will help you achieve that goal, and you will start attracting the right type of people. Now, if you're the type of person that you have a bunch of crappy people in your life, well, guess what? You've attracted that into your life. That's what you're attracting. You're not attracting good people because you're probably not attractive, whether it be physical or mental or whatever it is. Spiritual. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not really attacking on the attractiveness. I mean, there's just different types of attractiveness. And I think if you look at what my set of 5 were versus your set of 5, my set of 5 will bring about attractiveness because it'll attract the right people that I'm seeking. So, I mean, it's different, but I'm also short and pudgy, so what do I care?
No, you're not. But that is exactly my point, is whatever that focus is, it doesn't have to be something other people agree on, but you need to believe in it. I need to believe in mine. I know you believe in yours. For all those people out there, I think one of the things as a parent, something my mom did for me was help me realize, what do I stand for? What is my brand? What am I selling at the end of the day? When someone says, hey, who's the person for this friendship or this job, or what kind of a parent is this person? I want them to believe, hey, this is a good person. This is a good friend. This is the right person. And again, coming full circle, this is our Mother's Day episode. Mom, you helped drive all of those pieces into me to make me want to be as you said, Noah, I think that's absolutely right. Attractive in all these different ways, intellectual, intelligent. It's very important for me to keep my mind sharp.
Well, no one wants, like, if you're an intelligent person, you don't want to hang around with dumb people.
No, it's no fun. It actually burns, and you and I know this because we've had to work with them. And for those of you out there, if you're listening to our podcast, you're clearly not one of them if you've kept up with us, so you got no worries. But yeah, it can be a struggle. It can be very tough because it is one of those things where it's like, wow, your Legos aren't square. So it is a piece. But Mom, again, thank you for what you helped drive into me to be a good person, to know what I stand for and not be afraid of it. Thank you for giving me that much security that I can be able to say those things.
All right, so since you're talking about your mom, I'm going to bring up 2 more mom things.
All right, do it.
So the first mom thing I'm going to bring up is about Kathy, Brian's mom.
All right.
So one of my greatest memories or oldest memories I have of Kathy is that we went to go visit her at work, Brian and I, and she worked at King Soopers in the butcher section, right?
All right.
And so she had Brian and I close our eyes and put our hands behind our back, and she put something in our hands, and it happened to be like a cow's brain. Nice. So that's kind of like one of the things I remember a lot about Kathy. So hopefully, maybe if Kathy and Brian are listening to this, I think they'll find that pretty funny. Secondly, talking about moms and being like who we are today and stuff like that. My mom, in every venture I've done, she's been super duper supportive.
Yes.
She always supports me in almost everything. In everything that in everything I try to pursue. And with that, this does bring up our first patron.
Yes.
Our very first patron. I never asked my mom to do this. In fact, I know she listens to our podcast every once in a while. I think she actually listens to all of our podcasts, to tell you the truth. But she saw on our last podcast that we had a thing for being a patron. And she became our very first patron and contributing money to our podcast. So that way now we're starting to become more of a legitimate podcast.
A very fair amount.
So, Mom, thank you. Thank you very much. I know we didn't ask you about it. We didn't tell you about it. And it is very awesome that you support our podcast here. So I just want to say thank you very much and happy Mother's Day. I love you. That was really awesome that you decided to contribute money to our podcast, and I don't know how to thank you enough for that.
Absolutely. Mom, cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Maybe you got to try some of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So we're getting kind of close, so I'm not sure if you want to talk about your challenge for this week. I do.
What is the
Smarter Challenge?
Smarter Challenge. Okay, so we have talked a lot here and there about different funds, cryptocurrency, stocks, where one might invest. We are not suggesting you do any of this. We are not advisors. If anything else, we're taking that Robinhood route where we're basically just like a casino. You can invest in whatever you want to, red, black, you're playing roulette. And we are going to, here's the challenge. We're going to, next week, come up with our proposal. And it's all hypothetical, of course. $100,000. Where do we invest it? And then the following week, we'll see where we landed. Now, this is not just going to be a 1 week short-term piece. We'll revisit it periodically to see how the funds we have chosen to invest in have changed and possibly what adaptations we've made to course correct or not. With that, we will include things like brokerage fees, trading fees, investment fees to see where at the end of time, and I'm going to go for a 1 week, a 1 month, and we might do a monthly retouch, but then at the end of the year, that'll be the real thing. So my proper challenge is that we invest this money and see if we really did invest it, and some of us may, how far did we go with that? Was it a smart move? And why did we choose the moves we did? Why did we choose the investments we did? And it's not just gambling.
Okay, so let me get these rules straight. Are we just doing a hypothetical $100,000, or because I know we talked about some stuff earlier, or actually we doing like a certain dollar amount, and then we're gonna play with that little tiny amount?
I say we do that little tiny amount for this experiment. This is an investment for this business, for this podcast. $100 each.
So $100 each.
Yes, but as we look at it, the comparison is if there were 3 extra zeros on there. Okay.
So that's fine. We can do $100 each. This would also put us in alignment with this last Smarter Challenge with where he says 10%. Obviously, $100 is probably less than 10%. But in any case, okay, so we do $100. What is the time frame? Right? Like, how are we going to determine a winner?
Next week, we make the investments on the podcast. We do it physically there. A week after that is the first gauge. Where did it land in 1 week? Now, this is the tough part because a week really shouldn't matter. A 1 month after that, we will look at it again. And then at 1 month and 12 months, actually, let's do 1, 6, and 12 months, there will be a victor of which we'll come up with some pretty good prizes.
Okay. So, $100. Is there going to be any stipulations where we invest? Can it be crypto? Does it have to be stocks?
Anywhere you want to invest it. If you want to go invest in a pot house, you can legally do that. Now they have stocks for that. You can invest in a pot house.
Okay.
If you want to invest in cryptocurrencies, do that. If you want to invest in Ferrari, do that.
Okay. Okay, so I think that seems fair. All right, so next week, come prepared,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Are we going to explain why we're choosing what we're choosing?
I think that's the right thing to do. I think we're going to, delve into that very quickly, more so for each other to understand and listen to. I myself, so you guys know, as much as I was against currencies of different type, cryptocurrencies, have bought XRP after one of Noah's most recent recommendations and am doing quite well happily. And also my Ferrari stock's not doing as well as I would like. My cryptocurrencies are doing better. I don't know what to do. So I might surprise you. I might come to the table, so to speak, next week with investments you never would have imagined, and vice versa.
Okay, that sounds like a good, proper, or smarter challenge.
All right, and then so I think we should at this point, really quick. What is the 1 month prize? The 1 week prize is just bragging rights. What'd you do after a week? Well, we made some bets. We invested in GameStop. We made all of our money, and then a month later, you lost it all. You don't win. But what about 1 month? What should be a good prize?
How about this? How about we don't come up with what the prize is right now? If people are listening to our podcast, which we do have some people who do listen.
And comment, thank you.
Yes, we do have people who are commenting. Some people text us personally who know us. There are people who actually
Thank you, Donald Trump.
Are you friends with Donald Trump or something?
I'm
you
not
got
getting
a text
any
message
from Biden. I don't know.
I'm not getting a text from Biden either, but I'm not getting a text from Trump either.
Yeah, I haven't yet, but I'm waiting.
But I know a couple of friends that do listen to our podcast. They do text me personally. I wish I don't get me wrong. I appreciate that they text and let me know how we're doing and what they like about our podcast and stuff. But I think it would be great if they would actually post the comment on whatever social media site that they're listening to us to, whether it be YouTube or Rumble or Podbean or Spotify or Amazon Music. I wish they would actually leave a comment in those areas, letting us know how we do, so that way other listeners can see that people are leaving comments. So, but in any case, we do have people leaving comments. We have friends that do text message or talk to us and let us know how we're doing. So I think they should determine
Oh, snap.
what our 1 month reward should be, or punishment for the loser.
All right, Daniel Craig, please leave a message. New James Bond coming out. So, I mean, it's
So what do you
happier
think about
away,
that? Do you think we should leave it up to the audience?
I think that's great.
Okay, so we'll leave that up to the audience.
Help.
All right, so I guess it's about time to wrap it up. You got any last minute things here you want to say to the peeps?
I mean, this Glenlivet Caribbean cask, aged in rum barrels, has not disappointed. Again, I like something smoky, something peaty. If I'm just drinking to enjoy on my own, that's normally the route I am going for. But to your point, man, grilling maybe some chicken, some Caribbean jerk chicken, some pineapple, papaya, different fruits on the grill. This would be amazing. Red bell peppers grilled on the grill with the chicken. This is a pleasant surprise. Thank you.
Yeah, I remember we looked at this and we're like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, Mother's Day. Love you, Mom.
But I would say I am pleasantly surprised by this. And man, it's super tasty. Yeah, it goes down really nice and smooth. Great fruit up front. The finish is really, really mild. It's not hot like some of these other ones have been. All in all, I give it pretty good remarks.
Yeah, and
price point.
Yeah, what was it?
$30?
Yeah,
it's like $29 or something.
Damn.
Like that.
Cheap.
Yeah, this is over at Total Wine off of where is it off of?
That is County Line.
County Line. Okay, County Line and what?
It's basically,
I know it's right across the mall from Park Meadows.
Yeah, right across from Park Meadows. I'm not sure what that little side street is, but right across from Park Meadows, Total Wine and Liquor.
Okay, so Total Wine and Liquor. That's where we picked this up at. They don't hook us up, or we don't get anything for name dropping them or anything like that.
No, but we've got a picture we took on the outside of the building. Sorry, it was dreary, cloudy, raining.
What's up with the bad weather on our recording nights?
I don't know, but here's the deal, guys and gals. We are super excited. We were hoping it might be tonight. Weather let us down. We can't do it out in the rain. We are ready to grill and have an outdoor show, to have some fun. Our wireless mics have been tested. They work. The sound quality isn't quite as crisp as the studio mics. But man, we're excited. We're ready. As soon as the weather will let us, we will be doing just that.
And not only that, because now we got the wireless mics working with the cameras. We are now also gonna, like, what's on the table now is starting to do some adventure type shows.
Yes, Roswell, here we come.
little green aliens.
That's right. I'm bringing one home.
We want to see the Greys, and we want to see. All right. So basically, to close off this Mother's Day special here, I want to say, Mom, Kathy, Mrs. Wills, happy Mother's Day to all three of you. You've been a great influence in my life. I appreciate all of you. I love all of you. And for those of you who are listening to our podcast, we are on YouTube and Rumble. That's our video portion of our podcast. And then we're also on Podbean, Amazon Music, and Spotify for the audio. I want to wish you guys all a great night, and hopefully you enjoyed our show tonight.
Yeah,
Jesse?
Absolutely. Much like Noah said, thank you. Happy Mother's Day, Mom, to all the moms. Some of you have had it easy. Some of you have not. Cheers to each and every one of you that wakes up every morning, works 1, 2, 3, maybe more jobs to be a great mother, to provide for your children. We can't all have it easy. It won't always be easy, but come up with that plan. Come up with that dream. Follow your plan. Do what you love, hopefully. And some of that may simply be, I mean, even though it's working 12 hours, 14 hours a day, taking care of your kids. So cheers to all the moms. Thank you for everything, Mom. And happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day. And once again, cheers to you moms out there. Cheers.
Cheers.
Have a great night, people.
Good night.
We hope you enjoyed this evening's episode of Scotch Hour. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you have not done so already, please become a Patron member. with memberships starting as low as $1 a month. Thank you, and hopefully you have a wonderful evening.